Rena Bloody, Joe Sam, Joe Louise, Francis Akwafu, Edu Poku, and of course Osei Kwame Jr. Good atmosphere here today, Josa. It's a blend of the old and the new, and as the MTN FA Cup committee have told us, this is a day to remember.
Prince, I would say you cried. I'm not crying at all, because what this tells, or the kind of picture this atmosphere is painting us, taking you back to when we used to see these players in action when they were in their prime, and these are serial winners. Like you said, these are names that you hear, and if you're a defender, then you are going to have a very, very tiring day, and it's so nice seeing them, in action again. I'm feeling a bit nostalgic, Prince, if I should put it. Seeing these players. Don Bote, back then he used to strike his free kicks like Cristiano Ronaldo. Would literally go to the stadium to watch Bernard Don Bote play, and same as the players in red, Kumasi Asante Kotoko, Godwin Ablodi. What a leader he is, and I believe he's had an awesome season with BBL Gold Stars. But Prince, for me, I think I wouldn't miss any action, because I'm not going to flinch from now to the final whistle.
Well, you dare not, because the action station is right here as we go into the match itself. Kickoff, Accra Hearts of Oak in their orange colors, but of course with the rainbow playing from right to left. And those were the good old days. You see the genius of Lawrence Ajatete in the middle. He got a lot of support from Hamlet Charles Alote in that dreaded battalion of 64. Jacob Nete, as usual, on the left-hand side of attack. And again, it's good to see these oldies. And they keep telling us that, look, we're not old. It's just that we're off the scene, the regular scene. In goal for Asante Kotoko is Osei Boateng. And I need not remind those who may have forgotten that Osei Boateng was in goal that dreaded May 9th encounter.
That's quite a lot of memories being invoked here, Prince. But like you're saying, I think it sounds more insulting if you say they are old, because most of them are still playing active football. Unfortunately, it's not competitive enough. But you can see how they're moving on the pitch, and the tempo is quite, a bit slow, like we just expected. And I believe with time, one ragged tackle could just spark the stadium alive.
Yeah, well, just gone by, we just saw that timely run by Amos Frimpong, something he used to do regularly for the Porcupine Warriors back in his day. It's also good to see on the Accra Hearts of Oak side, like I said, Nanka Bruce is back on the field, but yeah, the Mercurial, Charles Taylor, the trickery may have left him, but the touches are still there.
Yeah, of course, it was a good touch, with the right. I didn't know if he was trying to just do a couple of leg overs over there, but he's put on a bit of weight. That's not a
no, he's put on a lot of weight.
A lot of weight, maybe. That's the right word to use.
He's put on a lot of weight.
You can see ball trapping a bit of a problem again for Ablodi.
Forceful run by Kotoko as they come forward. Here's Prince Edu Poku. My word, back in the day, he would have sprinted straight into the 18-yard box, and again, the trickery brings him down. Oh my word.
Friends, this is why we want to watch this game.
It's good to see them in action, I tell you. And for those of you out there who really follow Monday Stars, I'm sure you see most of them at the various fields. Prince Edu Poku used to play regularly at the Rangoon Park, for those of you who know cantonments very well. But anyway, Kotoko will come forward again. This time it's an opportunity from the right-hand side. Francis Akwafu's pass was short-lived. Nothing really to write home about, especially in this game. We've seen one miss from Charles Taylor and another from Prince Edu Poku.
Yeah, it was a tumble at the other end. You were thinking that should have been a clear-cut chance for Kumasi Asante Kotoko. But like Prince, like we keep saying, these are players who still enjoy playing, because they started playing a game of football due to the passion they had, and they would never stop playing. But the competitiveness is not there, and you can see the run from Ablodi tells
Swift
you
move there from
exactly.
Ablodi,
I want to see Charles Taylor on the ball.
The flag stays down, but eventually goes up. It's offside. No problems at all for the defense of Asante Kotoko.
They still have it, play with the high line, trying to just play their opponent offside and all that. You can see it, but I just want to see the skillful players, the playmakers we used to see back in the day on the ball. And Chastela is just limited to the center circle. We are not seeing Chastela trying to, exploit the.
You wouldn't expect much from them, would you? They'll try and keep it within a certain core of the area they occupy on the field of play. to avoid a lot of the running. There's a pass from Amos Frimpong, good skill. As Kumasi Asante Kotoko come forward, that's a daring run there. Akwafu has an opportunity, he decides to go for glory. The idea was good, but off target.
Yeah, that was a good try.
Good enough, yeah.
That was a good try. Quite bold from here. And you would see Jacob Nati just nowhere. See, just about 2 meters behind his marker. And, well, he tried to catch
the Jacob Nete we see today. But for those who remember very well, in the year 2000, Jacob Nete was primus inter pares. I mean, he did what he had to do, and he almost always had head coach, the late Sir Cecil Jones Atukwefio, close to him on the touchline, telling him exactly what to disappoint for Accra Hearts of Oak to take advantage of as they come forward. Good skill checking there on the nice and the far side. They try and come through the middle now. Tichi Mensah will be joining the attack as they come forward. Ajatete fights and gains control, lays on the pass to the near side. Here's Jacob Nete now. Quick 1-2 between these players. Jacob combines very well with Ajatete, and then is pushed on the far side by Eric Nyako, another of those silky skilled players for Accra Hearts of Oak once upon a time, being Nanka Bruce. And now there's swift movement now as they look forward. And any time that gentleman comes forward, you know it is trouble time. Good enough, Yao Amakwa Mreku. Known for his overlapping runs, known for those curly crosses and incisive passes. I'm sure we'll see a couple of them today. It's not left him, has it?
Definitely. No, he still has it. You can see with that around. And, Prince, one thing that fascinates me is the fact that there used to be a team of Hearts and Kotoko filled with legends, filled with leaders. And you would understand why they used to win. They were serial winners back then, because each and every player on the pitch was a leader, and that's what they always had in Amakwame.
That's a free kick to Accra Hearts of Oak, and it's Yao's long ball straight into the waiting arms of Osei Boateng. He's also girded his loins very well. Osei Boateng played at the national level for the junior and the senior teams as well, and of course made a name for Asante Kotoko. Once in a while, or once upon a time, he passed through teams like Accra Great Olympics, and he was almost always agile in goal.
I believe we could have a long list of those profiles of these players and what they achieved during their playing days. And Prince, it's just a good feeling. It's so refreshing seeing them play. Again, most of them have been off the scenes for a long time, after retirement. And most of them, we used to see them. Most of them, are still into the football business. But then having two sets of legends play, Prince.
Okay. Kotoko come forward. And the 14 jersey, by the way, is Osei Kwame Jr. And now it's a chance for Asante Kotoko to come forward, this time operating from the far left. Good skill. And you realize that there's not much running. Joe Louise plays on the pass nicely. Ablodenko would come forward. For the better part of gentlemen or players like Ablode, of course he's still in the business, and he's just won for himself Ghana's Premier League, and so obviously feeling good about it.
Yeah, I'm sure he could just become one of the very few players to have won it, as both player and
pass
a coach.
From that was a pass from Ajatete trying to locate Wisdom Magleto. Game being played at an easy pace, no need for urgency, but obviously a game between Hearts and Kotoko, whether it's at the Legends level or the current level, is just like the Black Stars playing Nigeria, whether it's a friendly international or a competitive game. It is always competitive.
It's always hostile, friendly. There's nothing friendly about games like this. And you mentioned, the goalkeeper, Osei Boateng of Kotoko, being part of the team when that unfortunate dark incident happened on the May 9th, 2001. And some of them enjoyed glory days, others were tough times for them. But nonetheless, they both had the privilege of playing for the biggest clubs in the country, and that could be dangerous.
No problems at all for him. That was a back pass, I think or believe it was from Dankwe.
Yeah, and you could could see that long pass, and he's still got his speed a bit. I'm just waiting to see how he could dive. His that agility. That's one of the things I'm hoping to see from Samir J. He's a legendary goalkeeper.
Yep, and he's almost always getting the best out of them. As the teams came out for the early warm-up, behind Samir J was another of those stalwart goalkeepers produced by Accra Hearts of Oak, Eben Amadida. And between those two, what glorious moments they had on the field of play. The match commissioner for this game, by the way, is former FIFA referee Thomas Nunu. And Thomas Nunu has been in between these two sides many a time.
That's quite quick, and the fans are beginning to react. Friends, gradually, I think we're warming ourselves. It's not like the tempo is a bit slow. That's the tempo of the game. Looking at the ages, and the strength and stamina of these players, you'd rather expect quite a very, very slow game, but at least with some, skill, and then also some refreshment as well, just like we are seeing already.
Early stages of the game, no goal scored as yet. Brought down nicely by Jacob Nete. I remember one of the training sessions where Sir Cecil Jones Atukwefio was in charge. A mistake was committed in defense, and that was before the final against Tunisia Esperance at the Accra Sports Stadium. Costly mistake. Cecil Jones went up to Jacob Nete and told him that, Capito, you are the one and only Mr. Nete. Chance into the 18-yard box, player goes down.
Talking about mistakes, there's another one for Jacob Nete. Really a mistake. The one and only Mr. Nete.
The one and only Jacob Nete.
Yeah, the one and only. It's a good cross into the box. There's miscommunication there, I think. Miscommunication there between them.
So we've not seen Charles Taylor in the game. We've seen Samir J. We've not seen Charles Taylor. We've also not seen Bernard Don Bote.
And you remember that partnership between Don Bote and then also Charles Taylor? One of the best you would ever see.
That was a fluent pair. They understood themselves. They knew where they were on the field of play at any point in time.
And the fear they struck into opponents. And at this point, I would have to send a plea to the wise man. We've seen enough. We've seen more of the flag than even Charles Taylor and Don Bote combined. And that was very, very tight.
Flag went up on the far side
over there.
But again, we're also yet to see the pacey nature of Godwin Abrode. We've seen just a little bit. We haven't seen Joe Sam come into the game. Joe Louis has had a few touches. The defense has been good. Amos with the ball now, nicely brought down. Very good reader of the game, by the way. Amos Frimpong. Nanka Bruce picks it up. Good turn by Lawrence Achatete. Back in the day, it was always a delight to see Nanka Bruce played for Accra Hearts of Oak, but also had a stint with Accra Great Olympics.
For a yellow card from the referee. This is where it starts to boil, Prince. That's what you want to see. And that was a very, very good run, from the right hand side over there. The Tamakwamu again. Just look at that. Prince, he still has it.
Well, you give him an inch, he will always take a yard.
Of course, and he's able to snip those pockets of spaces, even at very, very tight corners. And just look at that. And after that, you would expect that, he definitely has every right to complain. Yeah.
Emmanuel Nkrumah had to fall back deep for Kotoko, but he gives away a free kick. The first free kick was taken from that same spot by Yawamankwa Mreku. This time, I think it's going to be Bernard Don Bote who's gone behind the ball. Certainly not the positioning that he would have wished for. Into the 18-yard box. Ooh, clumsy catch there for, say, Backward recovery by the defense. Thank you very much. If you've just joined us, we're coming to you live from the University of Ghana Sports Stadium, where it is the curtain raiser prior to the 2025 MTN FA Cup final, and this game is between Accra Hearts of Oak and Asante Kotoko. Of course, not the current generation that you know.
But I believe if both coaches are watching, there's Abuka Wata and then also Karim Zito and Prince, perhaps they might have an opportunity to re-sign some of these players. Look at the season they had. Perhaps they'll be watching and saying, yeah, I wish I had this guy in his prime, especially with Aman Kwamriku and already how pleasing he's been on the right-hand side of attack. I believe Abubakar attack, he just wished.
Most of them have been very, very very active, should I say, especially those who throng the various parks for the Monday Stars. They're almost always there showing what they've got. The coaches may have a look at them. Well, I'll be surprised if any of them should get an opportunity to play for the current team, but opportunity gone a begging. Wisdom was flagged offside once again. And
that's the most frustrating part for Accra Hearts of Oak. The flag has gone up about 10 times already, you know, and it's all due to the fact that the Kotoko defense know how pacey, you know, the Accra Hearts of Oak attack is, so they're trying to play smart, but then they need to be cautious, because they might try to find one legitimate ball through.
So Kotoko have an opportunity to come forward yet again. This time they want to go through the middle. Good touch on the part of Joe Sam, and then on the far side, where to contend with Amakwa Mreku. Joe Sam, Joe Louis, interchangeably keeping the pressure on Hearts. That is Dankwe who stops them in their tracks. Lawrence Ajatete turns. Lawrence has a soccer academy that trains young footballers. And what job is he doing? Good skill, and he's still going through. That's a chance for Kumasi Asante Kotoko. Akwafo had his eyes on target, and the fans would applaud the effort.
His second attempt on goal, if I should put it, but the skill there to go past Dankwe. Can say Dankwe, look at this, he's trying to chase him down. I don't know, unfortunately he just couldn't hit that one on target. Friends, it's always the skill for me, you know, the ease with which he does it. And these are players we saying haven't hit the pitch for a long time. You know, he deserves credit for that run. Earlier on we saw him trying to catch Samir J from about 40 yards out, but this was a bit closer. Unfortunately, no, you know, it wasn't really precise, it wasn't on target.
Pass from Dankwe. Ajatete couldn't get to it. Recovered nicely by Amos. And now Akwafo. Good turn. Finds Godwin Ablodi. So nice to see the Kotoko players putting their passes together. This is what they used to do, and they used to do it very, very well once upon a time. This time on the far side, yes, Edupoku lays the pass through into the 18-yard box. Timely defending from the man in charge of defense for Accra Hearts of Oak today.
You're talking about one of his qualities, Prince, and that's it. That last ditch tackle. Look at this guy, rock solid in defense for Accra Hearts of Oak. And just look at that. It was timely, you know, just giving no room at all, signaling no quarter for his opponent.
And you know, once you mention Prince Edupoku, especially in a match against their arch rivals Accra Hearts of Oak, it is almost always cocksure that the next name you will hear who will be manning him in defense is Emmanuel Ama Senegal. Senegal is absent today. But those two had some rich battles, I can tell you, Josiah. Prince Edupoku was the marksman for Asante Kotoko, got some very important goals for the Porcupine Warriors, but almost always had a problem when he came up against Emmanuel Ama, also known as Senegal. Here we go with Accra Hearts of Oak build up once again. Dan Quay. Aja gives the ball away. Kwafu say thank you very much. The flip-flopping, the overlapping, and then off target once again.
He still remains a danger man for Kumasi Asante Kotoko, and they are struggling to keep up with the skill. You know, he's so swift with the ball. Apologies, you know, with his arms raised over there, you know, trying to apologize to his teammate. But there was nothing he could have done over there. Ajatete just went to sleep over there. Just look at that. Caught him from the... Wow, what a skill.
Good footwork there.
So imagine him in his prime.
You
pay to watch him.
You figure he would want to play in the current team?
I think so.
Smile on his face.
I think so. Maybe. It's just the age and the stamina that's lacking. But
exactly.
The skill is still there.
But we've seen players who have played with a lot of skill, less stamina, but they've also, made it in the Premiership. Yeah. Let's see what opportunity comes for Accra Hearts of Oak out of this one. Wisdom gets to the ball. Can he go round his marker? In the 18-yard box, they're calling for the cross. Eventually, the cross comes through. Accra Hearts of Oak have been committed in the 18-yard box, but eventually headed away. Picked up by Godwin Ablode. Josiah was talking about the skills, and we were telling you for a fact that, look, they can play in the Premiership. It's just that they may not have the stamina.
Exactly.
We saw, for a very good example, in Godwin Atram, who played for Accra Great Olympics a season or two, even after he had hanged his boots and come to Ghana. Long ball in, can Akwafu get to it? Latches onto it first time. The idea was good. It only lacked the direction. And again, this for me is a learning opportunity for the younger generation to see these players who have gone past their prime, but reliving it.
Exactly. And on Friday I chanced upon the chairman of the MTN FA Cup committee, Wilson Arthur, and he spoke about the fact that they came up with this idea because they want the Gen Zs to have a feel of what these legends are about. It was what once Ghana football was about. Prince. They made the headlines. These were the players that pulled the crowd to our various stadiums, and each and every time our stadiums were filled to the capacity because of the brilliance, and the ingenuity of some of these players.
Yeah, I couldn't doubt you at all on that stage, and even to the extent that people went to the stadium to watch Hearts in Kotoko, not simply because it was Hearts in Kotoko, but for 2 or 3 players who stood out for their teams. Here comes Amos. He's got a sweet right foot. This time he looks for Akwafu and gets him. Flip didn't work, but they latch onto it again. Is another opportunity for Kotoko. Sekwame loses control. There's Charles Taylor. Of course, Charles Taylor made a name for himself first with Accra Hearts of Oak before switching over to Asante Kotoko. But it was Accra Great Olympics, and Osai goes up but can't deal with it. Oh, so unfortunate. So unfortunate. Hearts registering the first goal. Let's take a look at it again.
Yeah, and that came under duress. Just look at that. Trying to just pass the ball backwards to his goalkeeper, Seb Watson. Just look at that. Watson just couldn't keep that one out. But it was the pressure applied, all the way from attack. And it was a good pressure. We've spoken about the fact that they are playing with a high line. So they move, quite a distance towards the center circle. But then this time, this is what we are talking about. One ball, one pressure under duress. And it's one of the most unfortunate goals you ever find a team concede.
Own goal scored by Kotoko. It's now 1 goal to the good for the Porcupine, to Accra Hearts of Oak. Own goal scored by Kotoko, and they're coming forward to see whether they can make amends. I'm sure they'll be buoyed up by this as they try and come forward, but misplaced pass will be picked up nicely by Gabriel Opokuware, and then will urge his colleagues to come forward. Back pass to Osei Boateng, miscalculated. Osei tried his very best, got fingertips to it, or tried to make a save. It didn't work. Here's Akwafu now. Lovely ball through the middle. Oh, Samir J to the rescue. But that was a sweet build-up.
That was what we're talking about. That was what I've been waiting for. The reflexes from Samir J. And again, Brains is Akwafu from the right-hand side. And just so unlucky. But Samir J still has, that prowess, that goalkeeping prowess. And one of the days when he used to be the number 1 for the Black Stars of Ghana. Really had a good time.
That was the good old days, wasn't it? Dankwe will come forward. Prince Edupoku tries to clip him from behind. He's penalized for that. And you realize that Edupoku has sort of drifted towards the left-hand side of the attack instead of playing the central role. I guess it is because he's not got too much steam to keep up with the running. Kotoko come forward again. Yes, Amos. This could be dangerous. Late chip there, Samir J. Missed it the first time, grabbed it the second time of asking.
That's some good response from Samir J. After that earlier save, yeah, it was an offside, but you give him credit, for going down in time to put his body right behind the ball. I think the Hearts of Oak defense will need to step up, especially with their concentration. They are losing it a lot, and Kotoko are finding spaces, especially from the right hand side, through Francis Akwafo.
Hearts would clear out their lines. Tichi Mensah gets a foot to it, but Kotoko will pick up the pieces. They need to get themselves back into the game. That's a lovely pass through. They can Ablodi get his foot to it, and Accra Hearts of Oak give away a first corner kick to Kumasi Asante Kotoko. We're still in the first half. So far, so good.
Still pushing for the equalizer, Kumasi Asante Kotoko. It was an unfortunate goal they conceded. It was such a brilliant ball, especially if the Hearts of Oak player had scored. But unfortunately, it didn't come from a Hearts of Oak player, and now they believe it's time for them to just draw level before even recess.
There's a corner kick. Headed away, not the best of corner kicks from Kumasi Asante Kotoko's Prince Edupoku. But they'll come forward now. They're trying to keep Accra Hearts of Oak in their own half, as you can see. And it tells you the urgency with which they would want to fight back. Still coming forward. Osei Kwame. Mankwa gets the ball away from Osei Kwame's feet. And it's Asampong. Charles Taylor, the terror he was called back in the day.
Dazzling. Dazzling.
Showing a little bit of those rich silky skills. Together with a partnership together with Don Bote and Ishmael Ado. What a formation that was. Can Wisdom keep it in play this time? It will go out for a throw in. Or there won't be time for the throw-in because the players will come off for the end of the half. It's been a good game so far. At least we've seen the touches that made these players who they were once upon a time. God, Don Bote, Ajatete, Tichi Mensah, Ninanka Bruce, they're all in there. The Kotoko players have also lived up to expectation. Emmanuel Nkrumah, Amos Frimpong, Charles Taylor, Joe Sam, Francis Akwafo. Those were the good old days, and these were names that drew attention in terms of crowds to the various stadia everywhere they played.
Yeah, and at least we've seen snippets of what their games used to be, and it's good for the younger generation as well, glued to their TV sets, or even in the stadium witnessing greatness being relived over there. And Prince, for me, I just couldn't have missed this game. I just had to watch.
They still have the camaraderie.
Yeah, it's still there, and that togetherness, the oneness, and all that. But then it's been competitive, between the intervals, and this was the first highlight, the first real highlight of the game. You could imagine what only pushed him onto the deck.
Edupoku was roaring to get his name on the score sheet, and again, a little bit of a miscue in the 18-yard box of Kotoko. Osei went out there to make a save, didn't get there early enough. Hearts could not take the advantage, but they still kept pushing, probing, and coming forward. And this is where Akwafo took over. Lovely skill. Had the goal at his mercy.
So far, he's been their danger man, Akwafo. Just like that lovely skill again, the leg over.
Yeah, I'm loving every bit of it. The fact that these are players who are on the older side, but of course they play as if they are still playing in the Ghana Premier League or whichever leagues they are playing in their best opportunity. But it's just about putting pressure on their opponents, and it was this pass back to Osei Boateng that did them in. Osei did very well to get to the ball, but just could not control it from going into his goal.
So credit to Wisdom and Love, 27 he did everything he could. The disappointment on his face.
So he can afford a
thinking of the
smile.
fact that it's coming from his own player. Let's look at that. It was good pressure. I spoke about the fact that they were playing with a high line, so definitely there will be space between the goalkeeper and the last man in defense for Kumasi Asante. Ground sheer.
Well, a couple of players warming up for both sides, so I'm sure that the coaches want to bring some fresh legs. At least they want everybody to have a bit part in the game. And so Usman Gambo, I see warming up. Daniel Nieje is also warming up as well. Eric Donko, oh, they're looking very big. These are players who want to make these fans made them willing to go to the stadium to watch them performance at any point in time. Accra Heart of Oak have a few seminar players warming up. On the bench for Accra Heart of Oak, by the way, is Vladimir Morgan, Godwin Habit, Douglas Nkrumah is also here. Charles Alote is here. And then William Kwejeke, Emmanuel Hussein, and of course, Joseph goalkeeper Lord Bate Kwoti. Yeah. Kwoti together with Ali Jarrah have a very, very odd story to tell, especially how they made it into the Accra Heart of Oak team and established themselves as one of the stalwarts. I remember Ali Jarrah's first big game is when he was thrown into the fray by the late Salif of blessed memory in a game of Manchester United. Ali was just a young goalkeeper, and boy, Ali performed wonderfully.
Imagine that being the biggest test of your life, and on your debut, you get to man the post against Kumasi Asante.
Yeah,
I think he passed that test very well.
oh, he did, together with Kwate Kwoti. There was a game at the Accra Sports Stadium. Hearts won narrowly by 1-0. The frustrations that Kwate Kwoti gave the Kotoko forward on that day. Lovely sight to see. He was raised shoulder high at the end of 90 minutes. And the Accra Sports Stadium turned into a Kwate Kwoti show.
Interesting. Yeah, but I believe we could see some fresh legs being introduced definitely for the second half. I've really enjoyed, Francis Akwafa from the right hand side for Kumasi Asante Kotoko. He's really proven that, he didn't retire with his skill set and everything, but he still has it over there. And I'm itching to see the new players that will be thrown into the fray for us to enjoy. I've seen a bit of Charles Taylor. I've not really seen Dongote so far in the first half.
And Accra Hearts of Oak, they're back on the field. Kotoko are now coming back on the field. So we're expecting the second 45 minutes any moment from now. Godwin Ablode is captaining the Porcupine Warriors this afternoon, and Accra Hearts of Oak is captained by Jacob Nete. I'm not too sure if Jacob will be starting the second half. I think I've seen Amankwa Mreku with the captain's band, but let's wait for confirmation. A few changes will also be made by the benches of Kotoko. Kotoko have Robert Mensah as their head coach, assisted by John Owusu. And on the Hearts bench is Eben Dida. Any moment from now, the two teams will get onto the field of play and get themselves in readiness for the second 45, or the second half, I should say. Prince Edupoku, Godwin Ablode, Joe Sam, Joe Louise, Amos Frimpong, goalkeeper Osei Boateng, Gabriel Opoku Uware. they get themselves in readiness for their second half. Hearts will be looking forward to also see whether they can double the scoreline. And confirmation seems to be coming through the fact that Amankwa Mreku might captain the side for the second 45. Jacob Nete reverts to his coaching role together with Eben Amadida. Accra Hearts of Oak have made a change as Jacob Nete has gone off. I want to believe that it's Douglas Nkrumah who has taken his place. Samir J keeps himself busy as he warms up for the commencement of the second half. Still to come is the big one that we are all expecting. Is the MTN FA Cup final for the season 2025. And boy, what a clash we have on our hands. It would be Asante Kotoko taking on Golden Cakes. First incursion, Amos gets himself busy. Now, what kind of effect will this attack have on the defense of Accra Hearts of Oak? They give the ball away. The advantage will still stay with the Porcupine Warriors. A quick word there from our center referee between Tichi Mensah and Prince Edupoku. Issues resolved and we're good to go. Akwafo lines up behind the ball for the free kick. There's a one-man wall formed by Accra Hearts of Oak at this stage. Sami says one is enough. Charles Taylor has that duty. Referee's whistle goes, and that's a long free kick coming in. Samir J to the rescue. Just like old times, he reads it very well, smothers the ball, and keeps it in safe custody. It's a good free kick there. Trying to get advantage at the far pole was, I want to believe, Daniel J, trying to see if he's the chap who's come on. Foot up there, referee notices it and will give the advantage to Kotoko. The chap in the number 7 shirt for Accra Hearts of Oak is Emmanuel Osei, who's also come on. Chasing after the ball, that was a pass from Nanka Bruce. And Samir J will pick it up. Trademark distribution from Bates, they call him. Hearts still lead by 1-0. And it's a careful build-up this time by the Phobians as they seek to come forward. Lovely pass there. There's a dash round. Accra Hearts of Oak approach from the left-hand side. Douglas did well to hold on to it, but the flag is up. All ballooned away by Nanka Bruce. Or should I say it was Bernard Donbote rather. Bernard Dada Diop, serial killer Donbote. He's noted for one thing when it comes to matches against Asante Kotoko. And Asante Kotoko will always pray that there is no free kick close to their 18-yard box. Bernard Donbote will rise to the occasion. Now in charge of coaching, I beg your pardon, for the Hearts junior team. And of course, letting the young ones have a feel of what it used to be when he was in his prime. As try and come through the middle, keeping the ball to themselves. Lovely pass through there. Unfortunately, that flick from Bernard did not go too far, but Accra Hearts of Oak will keep the pressure on. Flag is up. Wisdom was caught in the offside trap. Free kick to Kotoko. Opokuwari takes it, finds Idrisu Yaya. It goes back to Idrisu. Idrisu slips but keeps it in motion. Akwafu will pick it up. Good build up by Asante Kotoko. Lovely 1-2. He gets to the ball. He sends in the cross. Despite the fact that it was going out, Samir J still rose to the occasion. Corner kick advantage to Kotoko. And again, we are seeing Bathes in his prime.
That was one dangerous ball, and one thing he's not missed has been his steps. He's always calculated it. He's been on point with the saves he's made. Samir J.
Throw into Kotoko. They have an opportunity to get one back at Accra Hearts of Oak. Referee says play on no handball situation. Lovely dummy, but good recovery by Accra Hearts of Oak. Wisdom has got space in front of him. He'll be ably aided on his right by Bernard Don Botte. You realize that Don Botte has gone slower than usual. Wisdom still goes through. He's in the 18-yard box. He keeps his momentum. That's nice enough. Fans applaud. And Accra Hearts of Oak looking for an opportunity to delve in the cross. Here's Emmanuel Osei. Obuo, they used to call him back in his heyday, into the enemy territory. Wisdom, chance for Accra Hearts of Oak, drilled in by Osei Boateng to the rescue.
Interesting build-up, Prince. Lovely build-up from the Phobians over there. What's careful?
That's a quick take on by Kumasi Asante Kotoko into the 18-yard box. Can they make it 1-1? Oh, there's no support by the Kwafo. Yes, he has been probing for a goal since the match began. This is his time.
Zali, I won't agree less with you, Prince, and that was a lovely goal. Dankwe did all the job defensively. You'd be thinking he had that one cleared, but it was only half cleared. That was an amazing run into the box, and just look at that Dankwe with the first touch. Unfortunately, he couldn't hit it again, and that was a shot unleashed by Francis Akwafo. Heart of Oak, I think they put themselves in that situation. They could have cleared it at the very first time of asking.
Kotoko have made a quick change. We'll just confirm that in a minute. But I see Osman Gambo on the field. And Accra Hearts of Oak will be making some changes of their own as well. One of them certainly will be Ablade Morgan. Eben Dida, the coach for the Hearts team this afternoon. I'm sure Ablade Morgan will be coming on. I am sure that Samir J will also be making way for Kwate.
It's like Don Botte has been subbed off as well.
Yeah.
He's been very quiet throughout the game.
He's been very quiet. Ablade Morgan takes Don Botte's place. Lord Kwate takes Samir J's place, all receiving the applause. What a game they've had. And I think coming off is Nanka Brooks. That's Kwate in your shot. After Accra Hearts of Oak, he went around for a while, and then he was in charge of goalkeeping for Brecum Chelsea. Fresh limbs needed on the field of play. Charles Taylor also says these are good buys. And I think Charles Taylor's place has been taken by Wisdom Abbey.
That sounds familiar.
These are the good old names of the good old days. Kotoko and Accra Hearts of Oak. You mentioned some of the names, and it's clear to know where they're coming from and where they're going. Picked up nicely on a very intelligent chip there as they come forward. Daniel Nieje showing his class, lays on the pass. A Ghana Premier League winner this season with Heart of Lions. Oh! He had to stretch to his elastic limit, Kwate.
He literally clawed that one out of the goalpost. Just look at that. But then an infringement in the build-up. Those reflexes, sprints. You've been thinking these are aged players. You know, you just can't fathom how they get it done. But just look at that. And that could have been another lovely own goal. Like we saw in the first half. You know, that went in favor of Accra Hearts of Oak.
But Osman Gambo also did very well. Got his head to it. And had to call on the expertise of Lord Kwate. Dankwe will go through the middle. He gets a return. There are options on the side. And the first option he would pick up is Obuo Emmanuel Osei. Good run forward by Accra Hearts of Oak. Clip from behind in the process, Douglas Nkrumah. Ablade Morgan. Very quiet, very gentle player, Bloody Morgan, but gets the job when he has to. Lovely flick. And the Kotoko players are playing with a lot of telepathy. On that occasion, it was well read. They couldn't go forward. Accra Hearts of Oak have an opportunity, but then they also gave it away. Free kick advantage, says the referee.
For a second, I was thinking that would have gone in favor of Kumasi Asante Kotoko.
Yeah.
That was the earlier foul over there. I think I would have to agree with the referee.
Even the reactions from Amos Frimpong says it all. And that's Osei Boateng in goal for Kotoko.
And there's a push over there, and it's taking us back to the time where you can see a couple of pushes over there. That's typical Hearts in Kotoko.
Oh, yeah.
Even at the legend stage, and you would understand. Because we needed a goal sprint. At some point you were thinking, yeah, it was a slow pace. But I think the pace has, you know, even elevated since we saw the first goal from Accra Hearts of Oak. And then that was what led Kumasi Asante Kotoko to the equalizer as well.
What an atmosphere, what an afternoon for association football. The MTN FA Cup. Kotoko golden kicks coming up. Don't go away. Free kick to Accra Hearts of Oak. That's from Morgan. Hearts still holding on to it. They're looking to fire a shot from a distance, or pushed on by Eric Nyako. Fighting tooth and nail for it. Still kept in play, but eventually it's booted out into touch.
It's the first time in a long while we've seen Hearts of Oak, you know, try clipping Kumasi Asante Kotoko in their own 18-yard box. They barely have one or two or more than two touches whenever they advance into the penalty box of Kumasi Asante Kotoko. But clearly there's so much quality in defense for Asante Kotoko.
Oh, without a doubt, these are gentlemen who, on any given day, always blaze a trail for both sides. Osman, good pass trying to come through the middle. It looks very tight, but Kotoko managed to go through. It's an opportunity as they get close to the 18-yard box. Nicely checked in by Dan Quay. Referee says there was a little bit of pushing in the process, or should I say diving on the part of the Kotoko player, and so for simulation he will get nothing out of it.
Friends, that was a masterpiece. The art of defending brought to you courtesy Dan Quay. And we used to see this back in the day, you know, just so easily been done. And just look at how he got it done. In the first half, it was a last-ditch tackle, you know, to relieve Hearts of Oak off some pressure over there.
That's a good cross ball, brought down nicely. Can he get a shot on target? Hustled off the ball. He rather brings the player down in the process. And Josiah, I couldn't agree with you more. These are players who are showing how it is done. There's no need to rush. There's no need to gamble.
Not at all.
You control nicely, you get the advantage of your opponent, and then you're away.
And you'd be asking, has football changed since that time? Because I think they used to get a job done so easily, and these were stars that, you know, football was so easily. It was an art for them, Prince.
It was. Douglas Nkrumah dispossessed. Godwin Ablodi he needs the support. He will get the support on the near side from Joe Louis. Oh, Joe Louis is clipped and he will get a free kick.
That was a good scale over there. And when the complaint starts coming up, then you know that the frustrations will soon set in.
Not the best of crosses as it goes over the line, the baseline for a goal kick. So Kotoko and Hearts, the oldies, living it up, attracting quite a sizable crowd here at the University of Ghana. But we definitely are waiting for the big one, and when these older generation men are off the field, it will be the turn of the younger generation, comprising Golden Kicks Football Club and Asante Kotoko for the MTN FA Cup final. Who represents Ghana in Africa in the CAF Champions League?
Ubia, Prince.
Most definitely, Ubia. Good control by Wisdom Abbey. Solid pass through. There's a run for it. Wisdom tries to outrun the Kotoko defense. Opoku gets the upper hand. Referee says the game should continue, and Kotoko will switch from defense to attack. That's a lovely pass to the middle. Kwa for the goal scorer. Oh, but he gets it again. Still moving on. He now needs the support of his players. He manages to get the cross through, but Accra had to for timely intervention and a quick clearance. Again, showing us how it is done in unique fashion. Unfortunately, the attack fizzles out. What a shame.
Yeah, and the tempers are beginning to burn now, Prince. You can see from, the 50-50 tackles, the 50-50 dwells, and all that.
Lovely pass from this side of town. Douglas Nkrumah and Accra Hearts of Oak inching closer and closer. Wisdom Abbey, lovely flick, but well read. But Douglas Nkrumah has another opportunity. He fires a shot off the body of Wisdom Abbey.
It wasn't a bad effort from Douglas Nkrumah.
Yeah.
That left-footed, drive. At some point, you be thinking that there was so much power behind it. Then it comes off the body, and
one of the faithfuls of Accra Hearts of Oak goes by the name Z Baba. Sends me a text and says, Prince, it is as if we are watching Hearts and Kotoko of 2000.
We live in the moment again, Prince. And a couple of Dankwe's last tackles actually took me back to when he used to be in his prime. The good old days, like you said.
Amos Frimpong keeps it in play, lays on the pass, trying to look for Osman. Osman goes down. Oh, the frame has gotten heavier with time.
And I'm loving every bit of Dankwe now. I was thinking he's rusty now. Just look at that. Gets up on his feet again. Just look at that. The left leg. That's how you would have said it, Charlie.
Exactly.
Just look at that. He gets up again, and the left leg just goes right behind the ball. Just protecting it, and that was class defending.
No, he has risen through the ranks, Dankwe. I remember when he got admitted into the National Sports College. The day he arrived at Winneba, yours truly, together with a team of cameramen, were there on duty, and he walked into the National Sports College, and he walked into his room with a lot of confidence. I went up to him and I asked him, is he part of the under-17, then under-16 squad that had come to train for the under-17s? He said, yes, sir. And then I asked, what is his name? He says, my name is Dankwe. And the way he mentioned his name with all the vim, you could tell that this is somebody who knew exactly what he wanted. Exactly. He was serious about it. And together with the likes of Aziz and Sainko, they grew into a winsome young team.
And it's interesting, he translates that into his football, talking about his confidence and how, he is, and he's a commander at the back.
He loves what he does, and he knows how to do it, and do it well as well. So Kotoko will pick up the pieces. Time definitely running out on this game. They would love to win to signify another win for the current generation. Let's see whether that will be possible. But Accra Hearts of Oak have other ideas. Wisdom tries to open up the game, but ball has been taken away from him by Amos. Just when they came out of the tunnel onto the field to warm up, you could see the brotherliness among the two sides. Some had not seen each other, and I overheard one of them say, "Hey, 10 years,
Interesting, 10 years. That's a decade."
Exactly.
Friends.
So it tells you that on the field of play, they may be fighting at each other, but off the field of play, they are the best of friends. Douglas Nkrumah's cross, nobody there to finish off. Thank you very much, says Amos. Through the middle now, here's a CAF Champions League winner, Daniel Nieje.
He nearly came close to the title with Heart of Lions recently.
Yeah. Rose to the very, very top after missing out on relegation a season ago. He could now bask in glory. Future looks good for Ghana coaching.
I think it does, Prince. Looking at how the legends of the game, the former players, are venturing into football, scouted, video analysis, Prince, everything that concerns the game.
Yeah.
And it's good to see that we still can count on some of these players in the near future.
Slowly but surely, Accra Hearts of Oak come close. Would they get the winner? Fancying a shot from a distance, here's Douglas Nkrumah. He would have to put it on that left foot of his, but rather opts for options. And it goes completely off the mark.
Well, that was good attempt by Accra Hearts of Oak, trying to make the pitch a bit, expansive for Kumasi Asante Kotoko. You had about 5 players.
Gentleman who just had that shot, Eric Nyako, again, was one of the forceful characters for Accra Hearts of Oak once upon a time.
And Prince, if you've noticed, Mankwame Reku is still on the pitch, but he's now playing from the left-hand side of defense. So, he replaces Neti at the left-hand side and also takes over the armband.
One of the few players who plays with a lot of dexterity, Yawa Mankwame Reku. And Kotoko come forward. This could be an opportunity for the Porcupine Warriors to draw. How could he have missed? Oh my word! Kwate came out,
He goes
that
Daniel Nieje
had narrowed the angle pretty well, and he was dead cue on getting the goal. But
that was some, bolting speed from Nieje over there. Just look at that.
He didn't get the full kick of the ball.
I think that was where he missed it. But that was amazing, lovely, amazing run from the center of the pitch
He
all
didn't
the
kick
way.
the ball well. He didn't get a full spin that he had wanted. Hearts are lucky on this occasion.
Yeah, he tried to go a bit cheeky there, trying to dink that one. I think the technique to hit that one over the goalkeeper was just lacking.
Hearts in total control at this stage. Douglas Nkrumah is looking to go forward. Unfortunately, a faulty pass from Eric Nyako. Ablode now. Let's see whether Kotoko can show them how it's done. Beats one man on the run. Amos Frimpong gets up the pass. Akwafu comes in thick and strong. Well, he got a shot on target. He got a shot, all right, not on target, but he did well to make an effort.
They are asking all the questions now. Dankwe, the last man in the line of defense again. Francis Akwafu. He has a stamina as compared to the other players, if I should put it. And we saw almost every attempt in the first half from Asante Kotoko come from Francis Akwafu, and he got an equalizer as well in the second half.
Just if you ask me, Akwafu has, for those who may not have known, has been the revelation for this game, especially for Kotoko. Coming forward, joining the overlapping run. He's had a couple of shots on target. He's managed to get a goal as well. And so clearly, it tells you that if this is what they are producing above their prime, then you should know the kind of players that they were in their prime. Here goes Eric Nyako. He goes off and makes way for William Bejeke.
That's a like for like for me,
I
think. But then, Prince, talking about the output today from these legends, I believe you can do the math for yourself if you never watched them play.
Akwafu got it from Daniel Nieje. Not too sure what the understanding was.
I think miscommunication there. Daniel Nieje, went through the channel expecting the ball, but it was just a bit overhit by Francis Akwafu. And you can see they're still having the conversation.
Kotoko come forward slowly but surely. Here's Joe Louise. Nicely held in check there. A little bit of a heckling going on, but Emmanuel Osei, aka Obuo. What a steady player he is.
Yeah,
Had a brief stint in Europe
and
when
there
he
it
left
is,
Accra.
just to stop him over there in his tracks, and then he seizes control of the ball, and you know how he shields the ball with so much strength.
Yeah. Danhui gets himself out of trouble. Nicely done, without hesitation. Wisdom brings the ball down, but Kotoko would have the advantage as they take off. And every time Kotoko has the ball, you know that they're cooking something.
I think they've been more promising.
Akwafu was a pass a bit too long. Cross came in and the connection. Oh! Sublime! This is what I call a masterpiece. Coming from the legend himself. Missed the first opportunity. Apparently, he wanted to do it much better. Second time of asking.
That's how you make up for a missed opportunity. It was a golden opportunity missed, but then what about that for a cross? And that for a finish, Prince. And tell you what, this is what you missed 20, 15, 10 years ago.
Yeah.
This is what we used to see on the weekly basis.
Yeah.
This is what we used to see when we went or attended matches like this in the Premier League. And just look at that, Daniel Nieje, Prince. I thought, yeah, he wanted to do it in a more difficult way. Maybe the other one would have been so easy on a platter. He thought this one would have been legendary, if you ask me.
No, he's gone beyond himself. Because after he missed the first opportunity, you could see the smile on his face. He knew exactly what was coming up. But look at the sweet build-up. Yeah. They all put themselves into it as the ball went to the far side, and then the cross came in, a last ditched cross. But look at the athleticism of Nieje.
That was just a beauty, a sumptuous goal.
It was.
Prince. And you might run out of words to describe that, but that was just wonderful.
So Kotoko managed to bounce from 1 goal down to 2-1 up. And it's an opportunity for Accra Hearts of Oak on the other side. Douglas Nkrumah, he's brought down, trying to appeal for a penalty. It won't be given. Akwafu has switched over to the left-hand side of the attack now for Kotoko as Ablode takes charge of the midfield. So far, so good. These crop of players have definitely made a statement. And I think we should doff our hats off for the MTN FA Cup Organizing Committee, bringing these two sides together, reliving the good old days. Still to come, we've got the big MTN FA Cup final between Golden Cake and Asante Kotoko. Kotoko will come forward again. This time, they will hold on to the ball. They are in a lead.
Yeah.
Albeit comfortable.
No desperation. They are not in a haste.
And they're receiving the fans. They're receiving the applause from the fans. They're loving every bit of it. And this was how it used to be.
And you
once
can see
upon a time.
the leadership from Godwin Abladi telling them to calm down, just pass the ball around, just keep it simple. We are in a comfortable lead. That's what they are doing now. Just look at that. Toying with
lovely pass through by Akwafu. It's an opportunity. Can Gambo get to it? He's still going, but he overruns.
I think the idea was quite clear over there. Dombote is a bit furious because they are toying with the Hearts of Oak defense. And just look at that. Shoulder to shoulder, and then gets it down over there. That was good goalkeeping as well.
But again, don't forget, he was shielded nicely by captain for Accra Hearts of Oak, Amankwa Mreku. Made it difficult for him. Yes, Douglas Nkrumah. The difficulty now is for Accra Hearts of Oak to pin or put the passes together.
And this,
at the moment, it's all Porcupine Warriors.
You talk about Godwin Abladi and his skill in midfield and how good he's been. He's been a pure playmaker for Kumasi Asante Kotoko today.
Akwafu pushes it on, finds Joe Louise. Abladi opens up the game from one captain to another. Here's Amos Frimpong.
And just look at that from Godwin Abladi. right after hitting that 40-50 yard pass, he runs closer to where the ball is, asking for the ball again.
Frimpong cuts through, lays on the pass, but this time well read by the defense of the Phobians. Good recovery by Douglas Nkrumah. But Accra Hearts of Oak have less options. Too strong a pass for Aglezo to run to. Oh, I beg your pardon, for William Bajeke.
Friends, 20 years ago, that would have been a perfect pass.
It would have been a perfect pass. Indeed, it was a perfect pass.
Yeah.
It's just that Wisdom is on the, or William Bajeke, I should say, is on the heavier side.
Exactly. So, same time, same pass, but in different areas. And
exactly.
I think the results will obviously be different.
Back in the day, Bajeke would have latched onto it easily. And Kotoko will rebuild from the rear. After that inability to save that goal, Osei Boateng has not been put under pressure. A little push from behind by Joe Louise. That's the bench of Kotoko. You see the likes of Prince Edupoku. He was a darling of the Kotoko fans, especially playing in front of them at the Baba Yara Stadium. Cross by Douglas, a bit too strong. It goes to the far side. Now this is an opportunity for Wisdom. Hearts have 3 players committed in the 18-yard box. None of them had the opportunity to get to it as the ball rolls over the line.
The tempo for Accra Hearts of Oak has fallen steeply, if you should ask me. They were the better of the two sides when the game started. They took the lead, but I think Kumasi Asante Kotoko really kept it, calm, and they kept their composure. Did what they've been doing, and it's always riveting to know that they were playing through Godwin Ablodi, even when he was so slow. But then it's paying off now. He's really, reading the game. He's sending in the passes through the channels, and they are really enjoying his playmaking this afternoon.
And again, let's also not forget that two of the Kotoko faithful, in terms of Daniel Nieje, who scored that stunner a few minutes ago, together with Godwin Ablodi, are riding high in their coaching careers as well. So run for it, but nicely held on by the Phobians. Again, I couldn't agree with you more, Josiah. Hearts are missing in the game, trying to put passes together, but they almost always give it away when it matters most. Kotoko are playing with a lot of patience. They're soaking the pressure. They're getting the opportunity. Can they run past? No, they can't this time around. Emmanuel Obuo Osei says no. Here's Douglas through the middle. That's a good pass. He's got options on his left, twisting and turning. Kotoko are making it very difficult for Hearts to have any opportunities. Running after the ball on the far side is Wisdom Abbey. Lovely cross. Bajeke got his head to it. Misdirection. Douglas with a cross. The finishing is not there for the Phobians. Eventually they managed to win for themselves a corner kick.
And winning this game would mean a lot to the legends of Asante Kotoko. They are putting their bodies on the line, literally, praying, stopping every ball from Accra Hearts of Oak.
I'm sure the current generation of players, those who are going to be seen on the field of play in a couple of minutes, will be picking up lessons
from
how the legends did it back in the day. That
goal from Daniel Nieje, you would have to pick that.
Ball headed away, nobody putting pressure on the defense of Kotoko. Nkrumah once again. Osei Boateng goes in. Eventual header goes wide.
That was a huge miss, a huge one. I think that was the initial ball being cleared out
away nicely by Gabriel Opoku.
But that was good job done by Dankwe. And then another cross over there. That flying header at the far post.
Tichimensa missed. Referee brings the match to an end. And what a game we have had. Oh, it's been fun. It's been interesting. Lord Kwate was not really tested since he came on. Most of the job was done by Samir J. But what a goal from Daniel Nieje. Dankwe, superb as always. Ablodi has been the master that he all surveys. Techimensa had played his part, but Akwafo, what a game he's had. Yes, they have put on weight, but the athleticism is still there. The quickness, the swiftness is missing, obviously. But hey, you can't take anything away from them. Ablodi goes to the fans and receives the applause. And I'm sure they've loved every bit of it. This is a once upon a time story that is being retold by these generation of players who almost always blaze the trail. You know, and for the likes of Douglas Nkrumah, who also made a name for himself, Osei Kwame Jr., Manuel Osei, man they call Obuo, Blady Morgan. These were names that on any occasion could cause havoc. Of course, and these are not just the legends that have come from these teams. There are others who have also made a name, may not have featured today, but hey, between Kotoko Oldies, Accra Hearts of Oak Oldies, and thankfully ACOPA, which is the Asante Kotoko Old Players Association, and AHUPA, which is the Accra Hearts of Oak Old Players Association, have a lot of camaraderie between them, and so you normally or usually will find them getting together in these times. Let's take a look at the highlights of what happened in the game, especially after the second half whistle went. It was one-way traffic by the Porcupine Warriors, and that brought the best out of Bates. Sami Ajay went up, got to the ball, nice. And then the pressure was on again. But this time around, although the ball was going over again, you see the alertness of Sami Ajay. These are the little things that made him likable by the football fans. And again, another opportunity, sweet build-up. Dankwe to the rescue. Amos Frimpong dealt with a cross as he usually does, and see Dankwe put his heart, body, mind and soul into it. But then Kotoko felt that this was an opportunity to break through, so they came in hot and fast, and Daniel Nieje had the opportunity but missed the target narrowly. But that was a sweet build-up. Akwafo had laid on the pass very well, kept in play, and then the deciding stunner. And then the moment he got that goal, all hands went high. He knew that he had made his mark. Look at the quality of the cross and look at the precision. Kwate was caught gaping, did not have any idea of exactly what was happening. But again, for me, that's a masterclass. That's a masterpiece.
It's breathtaking, great. I love it when it puts the fans at the edges of your seat for a moment, and another moment everyone was applauded. And even if you're a Hearts fan, you'd love this. Great. And I believe the purpose of this game has really been served.
No, it's been served. It's been served. You can currently see on your screen on the bottom left-hand side players of both teams coming together, taking pictures. Like we told you earlier on, the friendship will almost always be there. They are reliving those good times. Some have not seen each other for like 5 to 10 years, and so it's an opportunity for them to also come forward and show exactly what they are made of. So it's been a very good game. The Hearts Oldies, the Kotoko Oldies sold a good game to us here today, and it's been worth our while.
Exactly, pretty much I've enjoyed myself, and likewise the Gen Zs who never saw these players in action, especially that goal from Daniel Nieje. I believe you'd go home talking about it, and that was what you used to miss. It was quite a normal thing back then. Today we're seeing these players play, and the Prince have really been entertaining. I believe this will be the right or a perfect curtain raiser to the finale between Kumasi Asante Kotoko and then also Golden Kick. And like you said, I just hope these players are watching and you look at the tenacity, you know, from some of these oldies. Even at this age, they never gave up. You saw Dankwe in defense. Hardly could you go past him. It tells you that even at this stage or at this age, he still has it in him. And I believe that would also get to see the next generation of our legends, Prince, also tell another story that we'll all be hoping, you know, to see. Prince.
Well, it's been a very good game, and this can only whet our appetite for what is coming up in a couple of minutes. It's the big game that we're all expecting. The fans have been making their way to the University of Ghana Sports Stadium, and we understand that there are a handful of them behind the gates trying to make their way into the stadium. It's going to be a grand event because it's going to be Asante Kotoko who would want to lay claim to a trophy that will give them the passport to go back into Africa. There's just one stumbling block, and that is golden kick. We will take a breather for now, but definitely come back with the build-up towards the MTN FA Cup final.
Hello. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, coming on the pitch for the first time for the MTN Cup final, make some noise for the Golden Kings! Golden Kings ready, ready, ready!
Hello, 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 hello. Hello, 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 hello. Hello, 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 hello. Hello, 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 hello. Hello, 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 hello. Hello, 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 hello. Yeah.
Nanedu should test his mind.
It's okay. Try 1 2. 1 2.